so we'll get started. Thank you for being patient. So there's no playlist today because our focus is really going to be on pairing the breath with the movement. And so before even meditation, we're going to start with a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So I will demonstrate first. So make a fist, and then we do pinky finger and thumb, kind of like hang loose, bro, or like the surfer thing. And we put our thumb on our, you use your right hand, sorry. So thumb on your right nostril, and then you hover your pinky over your left nostril. If you have really short pinkies, you can also use your ring finger. And the trick is inhaling through one nostril, blocking at the top to hold for a second, exhaling out the other nostril. Close both nostrils to hold. Inhale through the left, pause at the top, and exhale through the right. So I want you to be comfortable because we're going to go straight into meditation after. So if you want to sit up on a blanket or a block, you can. And also, if you find it hard to keep your hand in front of your face, it might be tiring on your shoulder, you can put your elbow in your left hand for support. And your chin comes down a little bit towards your chest. So you can come into your variation of your finger holding. I'm going to use my ring finger because I have really short fingers and it's hard to reach my nostril with my pinky. So together we'll inhale through both nostrils, through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And now block both nostrils and inhale through the right. 2, 3, 4. Close and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale out the left. 2, 3, 4. And close. 2, 3, 4. Inhale through the left. 2, 3, 4. Close both. 2, 3, 4. And exhale out the right. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. We're going to go for 5 now. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out the left. 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale through the left. 3, 4, 5. And hold at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out the right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. And we're going to try for 6. So inhale through the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release your hand. Inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale at the mouth. Bring your hands to your knees or to your thighs. And you can let your breath come back to a steady rhythm. If you want to stick with the samavritti, or equal parts breath, you can. Inhaling for 6, holding for 6, and exhaling for 6, and holding. But you can also come back to a standard breath. As you inhale, feel your chest expand. Feel your shoulders rise up a little. And as you exhale, Feel it sink ever so slightly. So you don't have to make big movements on the breath. Just notice the ones that happen. Deep breath in. Maybe the belly gets softer on the inhale. And on the exhale, perhaps the shoulders drop a little more. So today's practice is going to be focused on pairing our movement with the breath. And why I love that so much is because in this world of chaos and, uncertainty and change and all this stuff that we can't control, we can come back to our breath and be like, this I got. This I could control. And for me, it just allows me that space to not be worried about all those things that I can't change, all those things that I can't control. It gives me focus. Even though it seems like the smallest thing, the breath, it can be such a game changer. And we can start to apply this pairing movement with the breath, this controlled breathing when things get stressful off the mat, to bring us back to that place of peace and of comfort and of happiness, of joy, regardless of what's going on externally. Really, even like the physical practice, asana, of yoga, it's all really to prepare us to meditate, to be with the breath, to be able to sit with discomfort. And what causes more discomfort than life, right? So we'll take a few more breaths here in meditation. Focusing on those small micro movements that are happening in the body. With every inhale and every exhale. Not judging it, not critiquing it, just noticing. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And we'll start our practice with one Om. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And 3 Shantis. And Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu translates to, may all beings be happy and free. And may my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that happiness and freedom in some way. So deep breath for Om. Gently flutter open the eyes. And before moving, just kind of noticing how you feel now after, doing a little bit of pranayama and meditation and chanting. Are there any changes in the body or in the thoughts or in the quality of emotions? Maybe there's not, and that's okay too. Readjust your seat if you need to, or your pants, or whatever. Take a deep breath in and send the arms above the head. Look up and take a nice stretch through the upper body. On the exhale, we'll bring our hands to our knees, moving our shoulders a little bit, maybe left to right, settling back into our seat. On the next inhale, roll the shoulders back, look up, so seated cow pose. Exhale, lean back, chin to chest, rounding, separating the shoulder blades. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, shoulders lean back, look up. And exhale, round. So we're starting right away with pairing the breath with the movement. So when you start your inhale, your movement starts. And your body should stop when your breath stops. Not before, not after. So take these next 3 repetitions of cat-cow to really fine-tune how fast you're moving. And don't change your breath to match your speed of your body. Change the speed of your movement to match your breath, because it's all about the breath. Last one. And we're going to maintain this really fine-tuned connection to the breath throughout the whole practice if possible. And there will be times when you notice that you're no longer paired up, and it's okay. Don't judge. Just bring it back. So come back to a nice tall seat. Deep breath in, sit up tall. And on the exhale, slowly start twisting towards the right. And you're only stopping twisting when the breath stops. Inhale, push your sits bones down, sit up tall. Exhale, twist. Now, of course, these movements are going to be smaller because we're not flowing. But try to get a little deeper with every exhale. Try to sit up a little taller with every inhale. Only one more. On your exhale, pulling the navel in towards the spine, giving you a little bit more room for that twist. Deep breath in, come back to center, reset. Exhale to twist to the left. So really working with that breath. Inhale, sit up tall. Neck is long. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. 2 more. All right, inhale back to center, hands on your knees. And I'm going to teach you a technique. Maybe you already have Ujjayi practice, which is another type of pranayama, but in case you don't, I'll explain it, because maybe you've heard yoga teachers being like, Ujjayi breath, and you're like, I have no idea what that is. So get comfy. I want you to bring whatever hand you want in front of your mouth. And then imagine that you're either A, checking your breath to make sure it smells okay, or B, trying to fog up a mirror, whatever speaks to you. So opening up the mouth, inhaling and exhaling out of the mouth to make that, like feel that heat on your hand, breath check and or mirror fog. All right, do that a few times just to feel that slight constriction in the back of the throat on the hand. And now close the lips, but still use that same, I kind of growled a little bit, I went too loud, but that same constriction of the throat. Almost imagining that it's like a balloon. You know, when you pull the balloon tight, it starts making a little bit of a sound. We're doing the same thing with our vocal cords. So inhale can be free. Exhale, try for the Ujjayi breath. Almost like you're trying to make the sound of the ocean with your exhale. All right, one more time, practicing. And when we make sound with the breath, it becomes more obvious to us. So it's harder to be like, and forget about being conscious of it. So take one more breath, you know, settling in with that idea that we're going to be making sounds with our breath the rest of the practice. And then you can slowly make your way into all fours, moving slowly. I'm going to face this way today because I can. So bringing the knees right underneath the hip joints, bringing the wrists right underneath the shoulders, and start with a little bit of lateral movement. So pushing your left shoulder forward, left hip out, and then the right shoulder forward, right hip out, and go with your breath. Now, if you're already like an Ujjayi like champion, you can try to get that same sound on the in-breath. It's a little bit harder, and it might make you want to cough. That's normal. So now coming back to tabletop, turning the inner elbows forward, really pushing all of those fleshy finger pads into the earth. Take a nice deep breath in. Ujjayi, tailbone lifts, belly drops, shoulders roll back, look up. Exhale, chin to chest round, coming into your cat spine. And now I'm not going to cue the breath. I want you to follow your own rhythm. And everyone's is different because we all have different sized lungs and our diaphragms all work a little differently. So just flowing here, tapping into the power of the breath. In all honesty, nothing makes me feel more alive, because when I start focusing on the breath, it's like that is life, right? Like without the breath, we're toast. So it really makes me appreciate, like, wow, I'm breathing. That should be the most important thing in my life, not like my hydro bill or like that I can't fit in a size 8 anymore. One more breath. Yeah, I just told the internet that I'm bigger than a size 8. Not skinny, not sorry. Hashtag. Inhale back to center. And on your exhale, open the knees nice and slow. Bring the toes close together and slowly let your hips sink back. And if you had a tough week, your hips might be yelling at you right now doing this. So take a wiggle. You can slowly walk your hands forward. Elbows on the ground, palms on the ground, and let your forehead rest. Every movement today is going to be intentional. Even if we fall, there'll be intention in it, right? You can rock your forehead left and right. Maybe rock your hips a little left and right. Taking an opportunity as you use your Ujjayi breath to notice if there's any places of tightness, especially in the lower back or maybe in the shoulders. And not judging. So we're not noticing to be like, oh, that's awful. We're noticing so that we can be mindful through the rest of our practice. Because like we have stuff hard enough as it is. We don't have to like overcomplicate our slow flow yoga practice. We can make it suit what our body needs best. Next, deep breath in. Push into your elbows. Push into your palms. Bring your knees back to center. Tuck the toes. We're going to come up into a shorter downward dog. So you have your wrists still underneath your shoulders, your knees still underneath your hip bones. And then slowly just press up and keep the knees nice and bent. And do some pedaling. Oh God, that feels so good. And I shouldn't have worn a t-shirt because my microphone is in my mouth. That's why we wear tank tops when we teach yoga. So pedal. Keep that Ujjayi present. So inhaling slowly with control. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling, opening up the shoulder blades, finding that external rotation through the shoulders. And exhale, trying to slide your sits bones up a bit. We're not worried about straightening the legs at all right now. One more breath. And exhale. If you want to exhale out the mouth, feel free to do so. Pardon me. Inhale high up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. And then slowly on your inhale, walk your feet towards your hands, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. And then on your exhale, bend the knees really generously. And coming into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Let your head hang. Hands on the elbows. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Using that Ujjayi. And if trying to breathe like that with the constriction is making the practice less enjoyable,
You can practice that another time. Like, this is just an option I'm giving you. It's just another tool, right? And if that tool isn't working for you today, that's okay. You don't have to use it just because I said it's there to use. One more breath. And on the exhale, slowly let your hands just plop down onto the mat. Push into feet. Push into feet, yes. Slowly start rolling up your spine. Keep your thighs really engaged, pushing into all four corners of the feet. Coming up to standing. Oh, I feel so good. Roll the shoulders back. Or, allowing for crunching and cracking and popping. You can bring the hands together in front of the heart now. And I'd like, our attention just to be to slow down. That's what slow flow is all about. To turn down the speed on everything so that we can really be present in every moment. So turning your attention to your feet. Close your eyes if you can here. If you feel like you're going to fall over, you can open your eyes, but keep a soft gaze. So pushing into all four corners of your feet, being really aware of that connection to the earth. Getting an activity through the thighs here. So engage your thighs so that your kneecaps lift just a little bit. Slight, almost imperceivable tuck in the tailbone. Pulling in slightly of the lower belly, so keeping that area of the abdomen engaged. Tucking the lower ribs. Yeah, rolling the shoulders back just slightly so that your chest can be open. Chin tucked slightly in towards the throat to extend the cervical spine. And palms pressing actively together. So yeah, this is a really aware and active samastitihi, or equal standing pose. And I want you to bring to mind someone that that might be struggling a little bit, or maybe just someone that you love so much that you want to dedicate your practice to. It could also be somebody you don't know at all. Maybe, you were out in the street and you saw someone who looked like they could use some good yoga energy. Maybe a loved one or somebody you went to high school with. Just visualize the face of that person and send them all this beautiful slow flow energy that we're going to cultivate. Deep breath in the nose, fill the belly, fill the chest. Open up the mouth, let it go. Make some noise. There we go, slow flow. Pair your movement with your breath. Deep breath in, arms above the head, look up. Exhale, slowly dive forward, coming into Uttanasana, forward bend. So really being mindful of the breath. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms and step back to plank. Inhaling in your plank, shifting forward slightly, looking forward. Exhale, knees to the earth, lower down halfway or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide through onto the belly, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips back, coming into a child's pose variation first, then extend the legs, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Tapping into your own natural rhythm. Allowing the breath to move you ever so slightly. So your inhale kind of like moves you a little bit in one direction. Your exhale brings you a little bit deeper into the posture. Tapping into that ujjayi whenever you need and letting go of it whenever it doesn't serve you. And finding movement whenever you need. I'm actually staying more still than I usually do, which is interesting. Some days we got to move, other days we can find that stillness. One more deep breath. Really push into the palms. And on the exhale, this time, try to push the heels towards the earth, but without rounding the lower back. Inhale high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. And on your inhale, slowly step your right foot, then your left foot forward, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Push into all four corners of the feet. Deep breath in, slowly rising up. So we're not just sucking the air in, we're going up nice and slow. Exhale, hands to heart. Staying here for a moment and just noticing, like, wow, that was a really long sun salutation. That's okay. Notice how your body feels. Notice how the breath is. Is it a little shaky? Can you bring some control back to it? Again, deep breath in, slow. Arms above the head, stretch up. Exhale, slowly diving forward, keeping a soft bend in the knees, releasing the fingertips to the earth. Inhale, halfway lifting, so the legs straighten, the spine straightens. Exhaling to plant the palms slowly. Take your time, step back to plank. Inhale in your plank, shift forward onto the toes, look forward. Now, if you want to join me, exhale, bend the elbows, lowering down halfway. Flip the feet. Now, this is hard. Remember, slow inhale. Slowly extend the arms. Slowly roll the shoulders back. Slowly look up. Exhale, lift the hips first. Then tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Going into upward facing dog in a traditional vinyasa class, we usually rush through it like we pull our breath in so fast. So it can be really interesting to slow it down and to break it down into little phases. 3 more breaths here in your Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog. If your hips are a little tight, feel free to open them as your feet as wide as the mat. You might notice that feels really good for you. Last breath in. And last breath out. Inhale high up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands. And now it's your choice. You can step or you can float to the front, lifting halfway. That was a horrible hop on my part, but hey, no judgment. Exhale, fold forward. Because my hair came loose and I didn't want to land on my hair because I've done that before and almost ripped out a dread. Inhale, slowly rise up, arms above the head. Look up and stretch. Exhale, slowly bringing your hands to heart. So not just bringing your thumbs down. They stop when your exhale stops. One more deep breath here. And on your exhale, bend your knees. Slowly sink your hips down. And on your inhale, slowly let the arms rise up. So your breath stops. And as soon as your inhale stops, start to dive forward on your exhale. Crown of the head releases. Inhale, halfway lifting. So extending, heart proud. Exhale, plant the palms. We're not going to hop back. I want you to step back to plank. Inhale, shift forward on your toes. Look forward. We're going to try Chaturanga one more time. Exhale, slowly lower down halfway. So match the breath. Flip the feet. Inhale, slowly extend the arms, rolling the shoulders back, looking up. Exhaling, push into the hands, and then with the power of your core, lift your hips up and back, then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Turn the left toes out. Step the right foot between the hands. And on your next inhale, slow. So we're not just getting the arms up to get them up. We're slowly inhaling to sweep the arms up above the head, coming into a warrior one. And on the exhale, slowly sweeping the arms down, coming onto the toes of the left foot, stepping back to plank. Inhale, shifting forward slowly. Exhale, lowering down halfway or all the way. Inhale, flip the feet, coming into your back bend, but move with the breath. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Turn the right toes out, left foot comes between the hands. Inhale, slowly sweeping the arms up in front of you. And at the apex of that inhale, exhale, bring them down slowly. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Inhale, shift forward, look forward. Exhale, lower down knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slowly slide forward. Roll the shoulders back, look forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, hips to heels. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. I know this seems simple, like we've only done 2 sun salutations and a sun salutation B, but it's like, ooh, things can change when we slow down. Our whole yoga practice can change when we slow it down. Let your heart melt a little more towards the earth. Maybe pushing your thighs back a little more towards the back of the room. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Yeah. Inhale high up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, step or hop to the front, lifting halfway, and let that breath pair with the movement. Exhale, fold over the legs. Bend the knees, hips back. Inhale, slowly float the arms up. So really slowly coming into your Utkatasana. Exhale, slowly extend the legs, bring the palms together and rest them at your heart. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So the translation for this pose is equal standing pose. So think about your feet, think about your foundation. Push into all 4 corners. Activate the thighs by lifting those kneecaps. And then from here, slowly shift the weight into your left foot. And this is, I'm going to face you so you can see. It's a really simple balance pose. If you're feeling a little shaky today, you can step off the mat. Even further, you can find a wall so you can bring your hand up against a wall. So transfer the weight into that left hand. Your hands are still at your heart. And on your inhale, squeeze your right knee up. You can hold on to it with your hand. And on the exhale, release slightly so that you have a 90-degree in your hip joint and your knee. You can have your right hand on your knee and your left hand on your left hip. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Slow and deliberate. Inhale, push into that left leg, stand up tall. Exhale, pushing your right heel towards the earth. So really active through that right foot. Inhale, find your drishti or your viewpoint. So not looking at the screen, but finding something in front of you that isn't moving. Inhale. Exhale to relax the shoulders. Last breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to open up to the side. So keeping your pelvis facing forward and your knee out to the side. So I call this the Captain Morgan. So if you've seen like those rum bottles, he's got like his foot up on a barrel. That's kind of what we're doing, but without the booze. So by now your left foot's probably angry and your left calf is working hard. But stay with that breath. Use your inhale to send oxygen to those places that might be building up lactic acid. Be like, I got this, I got this. Inhale, bring the knee back to center. Give it a squeeze. And with control on the exhale, place the foot back down. And then you can shake out your left leg and do a little shimmy if you want, whatever feels good. You can roll the toes over, doing like a little boop, boop, ballet danza. And then we're going to come to the other side. So it doesn't look complicated what we're doing, but when you break things down and you slow them down, you can see that there is complexity in these things. All right, so really strong through the right leg, pushing into that connection, that seat. Inhale, squeeze the left knee up into the chest. Nice and slow. Exhale, releasing the knee to hip height, right hand to the right hip. Inhale, making sure your left hip is at the same height as your right. You're not hiking it up and out. Shoulders are proud. Spine is long. 3 more breaths. Exhale slowly, making sure that left foot is active. Inhale to focus on your drishti, your gaze point. Exhale. 1 more breath before we open up to the side. On the exhale, slowly send that left knee out towards the wall to your left. Pelvis stays facing forward. Ooh, hips stay at the same height. 2 more breaths. Your face is relaxed. Life is good. You're balancing on 1 foot. We're doing yoga together. 1 more inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bring that knee back to center. Squeeze it in towards your chest. Hold out for 1 more breath. And on the exhale, slowly place that foot back down. And then shake out the legs. Get rid of that lactic acid. And if you want to get like a little interesting dance in, I don't know, feel free. If you're not at the front of your mat, come to it. Deep breath in, slowly pushing the palms together. Lift the arms above the head. Look up. Exhale, fold forward slowly into your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. So push into all 4 corners of your feet. Extend your spine. Exhale, open the feet as wide as the mat. Turning the toes out slightly and sinking down into Malasana or yogic squat. Now, depending on what your week was like, this may be really intense and this may be easy, but I want you to know that you can use a block underneath your sits bones to sit on if you need to. There's nothing wrong with it. Props are amazing. They're there to support your practice. They're there to help you get deeper into your practice. 3 more breaths, pushing your elbows into your knees. Inhale, extending the spine, sitting up nice and tall through the upper body. Using the exhale to ground through the feet. And noticing, are you leaning just a little bit more onto the right foot or the left? Or are you perfectly centered? And again, not judging. One is not more right than the other. Just observing. When we slow down, we can actually, hear those subtle cues that our bodies are trying to tell us. Those things that we might miss if we rush through our practice or we rush through our day. 1 more breath in. And on your exhale, you can release your hands down behind you and slowly come onto your bum. Extend the legs out in front of you. This is where we're going to be using our strap. I'm all about Paschimottanasana or seated forward bend. Because it's hard for me, so I'm like, I have to do this. My body, my ego body wants me to do wide-legged because I do it better. But my yogi brain knows that this is the one I should be doing. So take your strap, wrap it around the balls of the feet. And bring your hands to around shin distance. And relax your whole spine, really round. And we're going to correct from here. So first thing, pull your toes back towards your face, push your heels forward. Then start by flexing your thighs, maybe even lifting your heels up off the floor. And then we're going to go to the pelvis. So first by tilting it forward slightly. Ooh, already, I feel it. Going up the spine, rolling the shoulders back. So this is our starting posture. You can stay here and work here just focusing on like squeezing those shoulder blades together, keeping your core engaged. Or on your next exhale, you can bend the elbows just slightly. Making sure with each inhale you're resetting. So inhale, push your sits bones down, sit up tall. And then moving forward on the exhale. Walking the hands forward as needed on the strap. But keep that tension there. It helps, actually, it makes you more aware of your shoulder blades and where they are on your rib cage. So trying to pull them together and down.
Inhale, sits bones, push, finding that lift through the chest and the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 5 more. Check in with your feet. Make sure the toes are still pulling back. Inhale, sits bones, push down. Ooh, exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly making those adjustments, maybe even walking your sits bones back slightly. Exhale to fold. If at this point your hands are close to your feet and you want to drop the strap and grab hold of your feet, you can. But if this isn't accessible for you, know that that's cool. If you're at home and you're here, it's okay. As long as you're feeling that great stretch in the hamstrings and you're doing this consciously aware of what your spine is doing, I am a happy camper and I will high five you when we're allowed to high five again. One last breath. Come out a little bit, lift slightly, extend. Exhale, fold as deeply as you can. Let the head hang. So delicious. Inhale, slowly rolling up. So engage your core, arms, lift, gaze, lifts. Exhale, bring the hands down. That's so nice. You can move the strap out of the way now and grab hold of your blanket. We'll have your blanket close by. Also, bring your blocks close by. So by close by, I want you to be able to grab it when you lay on your back. It's close enough that you don't have to like reach with your feet. So scoot your bum into the center of the mat, feet pushing into the floor. Now, usually we don't do this that slow, but this is slow flow, so we're gonna go for it. Extend the arms out in front of you, palms up. So already your core is engaging. And if you're like me, it's hard to breathe properly when you're doing core work. So I really want you to focus on keeping that slow and steady breath. So before we even start lowering down, everyone exhale out the mouth together. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So we'll stay there. And then we'll start slowly lowering down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Keep the feet on the floor. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So your lower back is still on the earth. Maybe your last lumbar just touched. And now that fun spot where things start to shake. Still slowly lowering, still staying in contact with that 4-count breath. Going as slowly as you can. And then when you notice your shoulder blades touch the earth, you can gently release the head to the ground, extend the legs, and take a nice stretch. If you want to interlace your fingers, you can. If you want to just have your arms above your head, you can. And bend into the knees, bringing the heels towards the sits bones. And this is where your blocks come in handy. I want you to stack them one on top of the other like this. So on the lowest height, but on top of each other. So that way we have more surface area for our sacrum to be on. That's what I like. Deep breath in, lift your lower back, your middle back, just enough to slide that block stack underneath your sacrum. So the really flat part of your pelvis. And shake around a bit, make sure, where'd my microphone go? There it is. It's traveling. Make sure you're supported. There's zero pain here. There's like none of the corners of the blocks are stabbing anywhere. And once you have that prop set up well, walk your right shoulder underneath your chest, palm lifts. Walk your left shoulder underneath your chest, palm to the ceiling. Close your eyes and come back to that count. But this time we're going to go to a 6 count because we're slowing down. We're not in an active asana. We're in a supported and more passive asana. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and exhale, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more. Inhale deeply, filling the belly, filling the chest. And exhale, letting it all relax and release. Slowly exhaling through the nose. Inhale, pull the air down. Imagining the diaphragm pulling to allow for as much air as possible to get into the belly. And exhale, let it go through the nose using Ujjayi breath if that is serving you right now. Last deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here, try to maintain that slow draw in and that slow exhale. And you can stay up on this tower of blocks and extend the legs to the sky if that feels okay. If it's like, no ma'am, come down, bring the feet back down, lift up, remove those blocks, and slide the blanket in underneath you instead. Today for me, this actually feels nice, so I'll stay here. You can keep your shoulders tucked underneath you, palms facing up, or you can untuck the shoulders and extend your arms towards the ceiling, but keeping nice, like, zombie wrists. This is amazing for lymphatic drainage. So scan the body, notice if there's any areas of tension still, or if there's any areas where you're flexing or holding, and see if you can do a fine-tune adjustment to reduce that amount of action and holding. I know I'm very prone to holding in my hip flexors. So if I bend my knees a little bit more, I can relax them. So it's not about having your leg like perfectly straight. Try to find the exact placement where there's the least amount of effort involved in maintaining, the proper structure of the posture. And we'll stay here for about 5 more breaths. And you can forget about the equal parts breathing now. You can forget about the Ujjayi and just let the breath flow in and out of the body. As the lymph fluid drains down, as any stress or fatigue drains out of the body. And if it feels good for you, you can do a couple circles with the ankles, maybe cracking the toes, do some circles with the wrists. Just imagining that you're sinking into the mat and that it's got you. It's like hugging you. 2 more breaths. Noticing any sensations that might be arising in the body. Maybe you feel a tingling in the feet, or maybe you feel like a heartbeat somewhere weird, like in your abdomen, or sometimes that can happen. Last deep breath. On this last deep breath, point your toes and reach your fingers towards the sky. And on the exhale, you can slowly bend the knees and release 1 foot at a time to the earth, especially if you're on 2 blocks. Bring your arms down and turn your toes in slightly before you lift up. So deep breath in, push into your feet. You can slide the blocks or the blanket out from underneath you and lower down really slow. Upper back, middle back, lower back. You might notice like, oh wow, where is the floor? What? I was higher than I thought. And then once your sacrum hits the earth, bring the soles of the feet together, open up the knees wide, left hand on your heart and right hand on your tummy. And on your inhale, send the air to your right hand. Lift your right hand with your breath. And on the exhale, let the right hand sink down. Inhale, send the air to your left hand. Lift your left hand. Exhale, let your left hand fall with your chest. Inhale, lift your right hand, then lift your left hand. And on your exhale, let the left hand sink first, and then your right hand sink after. And now just continue breathing in and out, lifting both hands simultaneously, and letting them both fall simultaneously. And with each exhale, maybe the groin releases a bit more, maybe it doesn't. But just being open to whatever does happen. Last deep breath. And on your exhale, release your hands to the outsides of the thighs. Push into your elbows slightly and inhale to help your knees back together. And then bring them into your chest. Oh, give yourself a squeeze. Rock left, rock right. And do that a couple times. It feels so nice on the lower back. And it's nice for the kidneys too. And you can let your knees fall over to the left side. So this is our last posture. So supine spinal twist. Extend your right arm out to the side. And you can either have it straight out in airplane, or you can bend your elbow and bring it into cactus. Cactus is a little more intense, but if you're in a tight space, it might be the only option available. Just keeping the knees as close to the body as possible, not allowing them to drop beneath the hips. 2 more breaths. Last one. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Letting that right shoulder sink. Yeah. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Give yourself a rock. And if you have to recenter your hips on your mat, which I'm going to do it. And then let your knees fall to the right. Extend your left arm out in cactus or an airplane. So I'm looking towards the ceiling right now, but only for microphone purposes. But if you want to turn your head to the left to get a full spinal stretch, feel free to do that too. Deep breath in. Exhale, twisting just a little bit more, releasing just a little bit more into this posture. Last deep breath in. And deep breath out. Relaxing your right shoulder, relaxing your left shoulder. Inhale, bring the knees slowly back to center, rocking gently. And then from here, deep breath in, lift your forehead to your knees, and now flex everything. Point your toes, flex your jaw, your belly, your thighs for 2, 1, and then release down. You can extend your legs here. And this is where the blanket comes in. Cover yourself up. Or if you don't have a blanket, put on socks. Get cozy. So bring your arms as wide as the mat. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. Let your toes turn out slightly. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill your belly up with air. And open up the mouth. Let it go. Inhale again. This time, fill the chest. Exhale, let it go. Deep breath, fill the belly. Fill the chest. And hold it there for 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth, just letting it go completely. Enjoying your Shavasana. Letting every muscle turn off. Nothing else to do. Nowhere else to go, just this. Gopala, Gopala, Gopala.
Slowly, you can start to bring just a little bit of movement back into the body. So wiggling the fingers and the toes. Make little circles with the wrists and the ankles. And on your next inhale, stretch the arms up above the head. Take a big, big, big stretch. And exhale out the mouth. Letting go of anything else that you don't want to take with you on the rest of your weekend. Slowly inhale to bring the knees into the chest. And make your way over into fetal position on your right-hand side. Just taking a second here to notice if any changes have landed. And when you're ready, you can gently push yourself back up to seated. Taking your time. And bringing the hands together in front of the heart and push your thumbs into your sternum, your breastplate. And we'll close the same way we started with one Om, Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu, and 3 Shantis. So may all beings be happy and free. And may my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that freedom and happiness in some way. Deep breath in for Om. The highest light in me sees the highest light in you. Namaste.